We're calling Jeff Mizanskey to see if he answers. This guy was in jail for 2 grams, everybody, 2.5 grams. And Eddie Lepp was in jail.
Hello.
Mr. J, are you coming on today?
I'm just getting ready to see about punching in.
Oh, without a doubt. Okay, everybody, give a hemp hooray for Jeff, and we'll see you in a second. Okay? There he goes. So we've got Jeff coming in. He's in my movie, everybody. I love that this is episode 97. We have Tommy Chong on next week, everybody. And so don't miss the Tommy Chong episode. So don't forget, we have a concert coming up, a golf tournament, everybody. And our golf tournament and our concert are going to be with all the ex-prisoners, everybody. So don't forget to donate to lifersamovie.com/donate, and then you can be part of the relief fund. It's a relief fund. Leaf, as in that thing behind me, the big leaf. We love you, everybody. We're going to take this all the way to Supreme Court. If I have it my way, we'll even do a 1,000,000-person walk, you know. They, them, whatever you want to call yourself, you can come to my house and be that person, because I grew up with punk. That's when they had the Mohawks and Kurt Cobain and all that stuff. But we're still on the bus. Jerry's gone, Jerry Garcia, but not really. His music lives on. So what's your legacy, everybody? I'm here with everybody today. We got Nancy from Sancy Magazine, yay! And we've got Natasha from the Canna Nurses. And I'm going to bring in my sound effects, because everyone loves it when I go... And I get our sound effects going. Let's see. So we got our sound effects. We got lots of sound effects. We got that. We got a DJ horn.
That one.
We got a glockenspiel. And I think my final one. No, I got a party horn. And I've got a little bell. So I'm really pleased to have a really incredible lineup today. Today we want to begin by congratulating Natalia Wade. Natalia Wade has early termination of prohibition for, God, she's free at last. I don't know how long she's been in, but I have something pulled up that I'll read to you about her soon here. And I'm just really blessed. We're trying to connect to Jeff Mizanskey. Otherwise, we'll get him on the phone and talk to him. And so, Jeff, I know... Oh, there you go. But with the internet and the magic of... We are in high-tech mode. And the mood is stop killing protesters and stop killing people that are telling the news. In real life, everybody... We're not going to get into politics of war crimes. We're just going to say, what the heck? Our slice of the pie is to release the prisoners and to understand that this plant that we dearly love was put here by aliens or God. You take your choice. If you believe in crop circles, tell me who put everything here. We don't know that, and I ain't going there. But I am humble. Oh, no, humbled. I am humble, and I'm blessed to be around some beautiful humans today. Jeff Mizanskey, did you make it in? Okay, Jeff is still trying to come in, and he'll call.
He's on. He's connected.
Yeah, there's his sound is still trying. Jeff, maybe you should go out and come back in, and maybe it'll come in better or quicker. So, love you, man. We've got Natasha and Vicky. Vicky is a beautiful soul friend of mine. We even had lunch yesterday here, so we're at lunch with Vicky. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my intro. Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here, and I'm behind the, what do they call that? The curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. So we're congratulating Natalia Wade for early termination. And here I am, everybody, in my living room. living and being out of jail and being really incredibly happy. Had a birthday this week, and Hemp and Parade, please support our relief fund. And we're going to be having auctions, and we're working on a golf tournament, we're working on a concert to bring people together through music and to help to raise the awareness and the vibration of the three, which is for 420. So 3 is for weed, 2 is for peace, and F Schedule 1. So listen to Jeffy, and all I gotta say is I'm wearing my hemp hat here. It's really gorgeous, and it's all hemp, you guys and gals, and it's got the flower of life on there. So look out for us every week. And next week we're having Sir Tommy Chong. And so, as you know, I've got the really psychedelic, incredible software that allows me to show you what we're doing and how we're doing it. And that's it. Our Cannabis Show Weekly is coming at you very shortly, this Wednesday. So step on in. And if you want to be a guest, you know how to reach me. I'll give you the link, and you can come on and Zoom with us and tell us your story, okay? Nobody should be in jail for weed. Love you, everybody. Peace and pain. I actually want to read to you a little bit about Natalia Wade here. Let me go behind the scenes here and get that Natalia Wade information here. It says here in 2013, Natalia Wade was convicted of conspiracy to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to money launder in North Carolina, although she had never left her home in the state of California. Her only involvement was conspiracy, and it was depositing marijuana profits to her bank account. From our federal justice system, she received a sentence of 87 months. How many years is that, everybody? So in federal prison, 4 years of probation as a first-time non-violent offender. Natalia is now released as a living in Northern California, up by Nancy, so she should come to your events for sure. But while incarcerated, she was diagnosed with lupus and bless your soul, and rheumatoid arthritis. She suffered immensely under the failing healthcare system and the prisons. Natalia is still struggling to recover from negligence of her prison healthcare. So back with everybody. I'm going to put us in a little gallery space here. Nancy, what do you think about Natalia? She's right in your neighborhood.
I wish I knew her. I don't, but definitely would like to include her in some of the events that we're doing, particularly the one on 423 for the fundraiser for Last Prisoner Project that we're doing with Lynette Shaw and Marin Alliance. Yeah, we should definitely reach out to her. You have to introduce us, Jeff.
That'd be great. So everybody, this is Nancy from Mizanskey Magazine, one of the top. Are you? Is there like top 3 or top 4 magazines of weed?
Yeah. Last year we actually reached the top, even over High Times, as the most read magazine in the cannabis space. But we battle it out. Probably each month it's up and down, but we're certainly widely read by both the Canna Curious as well as the folks in the industry. Lots of great content, and of course we're pretty well known for our events and our parties, and just had our Oklahoma launch party just last week on Thursday night. It was part of the CannaCon party, and it looked like it was very well attended. Great video that just came out on it. A couple thousand people, I think, attended. Looked like a lot of fun. And we have a Sensi night finally here in the Bay Area coming up on June 30th. So save that date. That's going to be our first Sensi night in the Bay Area, because it's been postponed, of course, due to COVID. So we're pretty excited to finally be bringing our community back together.
Well, let me see if I can plan to come down. I'm supposed to be at the Oregon Country Fair on the 4th of July, and but I'd love to come there, do some media, share our prisoners, and the slice of pie. And so Have you been navigating towards the direction of reform since Weed has been in magazines and in all the shows focusing on product, and medicine? When did you start to have wind that there was still lifers in prison for marijuana?
Pretty early on. I created a women's group in cannabis back in 2018 and was probably introduced to Steve D'Angelo probably in 2019, and then had him as I launched Sensi, which was actually the North Bay edition initially when we launched back in November of 2019, had him on as a speaker for one of my virtual events for all of California. I think we had over 150 callers or people on that Zoom call where Steve spoke, and that was pre-COVID. Well, I was actually doing virtual calls before COVID. So I was kind of already aware of what he was doing and attending some events in San Francisco that colleagues of mine were putting on to get the word out, and just meeting the people involved and figuring out ways to bring more attention to the issue. And I think that's probably a big part of what I do on a daily basis, is to make sure people are aware of that. And one of the reasons that I partnered with Lynette Shaw, who's the godmother of legal cannabis in California, to do a fundraiser for Last Prisoner Project. But of course, there's a lot more that needs to be done to both bring awareness and funds to help not only get people out, but also to help them once they get out. And that's one of the things that I really like about what Last Prisoner Project does, is to really support people once they get out.
It's focused on that. Yeah. Well, we're planning to partner up with everybody in the cannabis space. I'm going to stay neutral, and my fingers are going to be pointed at the people left in jail and the ones that are out, including. Wait, I got a little Jeff Mizanskey here. We're going to put Jeff up on the screen here in just a second. We have people like, for example, Eddie Lepp. Eddie Lepp, which most of you know, he was, I think, a Californian. He just passed away recently, and he said on film that I have in my hand, he said that he was going to be helping us as a poster child forever. And so since I got him saying that you put me in jail, you put my family in jail, my next movie is going to be about the families, and I'm going to raise the money to go and film the families and come down with Jeff Mizanskey and have a barbecue and have the camera out during the whole barbecue and ask the children, ask the parents, ask the grandchildren, did you get ridiculed at school? How are you now that dad's home? And what are you doing to help? So we're going to bring Jeff Mizanskey up. Nancy, great to have you and great to re-see you. And Hemp and Pare, and welcome Jeff Mizanskey. Hemp and Pare, three
I'm learning a little bit.
Don't forget, everybody, 3 for weed.
How you doing, Nancy?
Hey, I'm doing good. Good to see you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Where are you?
In Sedalia, Missouri right now.
Missouri. All right.
Yeah, Missouri.
So,
and we're working here too.
So Jeff has some incredible news. Tell us what's going on in Missouri, Jeffrey.
Well, in Missouri, we have some stuff going through the legislature, or starting to anyways, going through the committees. Got a House Joint Resolution, which takes cannabis off of their Schedule 1 list here in Missouri. So it'd be no criminal offenses for it. And it really opens it wide up. It also has provisions in here to get everybody that's in Missouri, the state, out of prison and their records expunged, marijuana offenses. So it's got a long ways to go, but it's a good start. We got our representatives putting bills out like this. We got another bill, 2704. It's a House bill that Ron Hicks put out. It pretty much does the same thing. It opens it up to where the common person can get into business if they want, and do what they need to do to make their business work right, as well as get everybody out of prison. So we've been working hard here in Missouri. Sooner or later, we're going to get it. We just stick together and keep going. That's the way I see it.
We're calling Jeff Mizanskey, everybody.
Hello.
Mr. Jeff, it's Jeff Eichen.
Uh-huh.
Can I
How
give
are we
you...
doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for that emotional show today. And I love you so dearly. Have you heard from my friend Mike yet? Mike Camp?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay, let me give you his phone number, and you guys connect, because he just moved to Missouri, and he's one of your biggest advocates. He's going to help you so dearly, and I think he's only like a half an hour or 45 minutes from you. I like Jason. He was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So can you write down Mike's phone number?
What's his last name?
It's Camp, Kamp,
Okay.
and his phone number is 0420. So it's 0420. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah, it is.
0420.
Hang on to that, ain't he?
So love you, man, so much. Well, we're proud of you, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about the medical that you helped to make legal in Missouri.
Well, in medical, we have that going right now. And we got dispensaries up finally rolling. It's really pretty easy to get the medical license here. If you have any kind of ailments whatsoever, PTSD, you just get a referral from the doctor, which is not a hard step whatsoever, and turn it in the state and get your license. You can grow and or be a patient and or grow. So it
And tell us what it took to make it legal. I mean, give us an example for the world. We're going to be on Roku and in Portugal. Tell us what it took on the boots on the ground to make it happen.
Oh man, we had an army of people collecting signatures. In Missouri, we're allowed to collect signatures, and we have to get so much from each county signatures to put it on the ballot. We got it on the ballot and voted for it, and Missouri overwhelmingly voted for it. I think about 63% to bring it on in. And since then, the business has been blooming. It's supposed to be over 300 million. So Missouri's finally opened up, and I can't wait until we get the rest of the way, because we got the medical side up, so we're helping.
And tell them about the day you and I met
in prison. Jeff comes down to Jefferson City Correctional Center, and
boy, my arms are tired.
Yeah, you flew down, and we set up. And he had a few problems getting there, so it ended up running pretty late. But we set up right there in the visiting room and did a recap of everything in my case, pretty much. And he let me know a lot of the news about even you've probably seen a picture holding the book with the hemp on the front. That was taken there as well.
I have one here somewhere. Keep talking.
I know you do.
Keep talking. I'm going to go get it. Share more about that day.
Well, we got to talking all through that, and he's finding out just what was behind my case, which was really kind of silly. But he had promised then, he says, we're going to go around and we're going to get everybody out that's in prison for hemp. And he's been fighting steadily ever since. I got to give it to you, Jeff. You make a lot of things happen. And because of you being able to stay in touch with everybody, there you go.
Nancy, we can't wait to publish that. No one's got that yet. High Times or Skunk, no one's got that photo of Jeff. And so this is our day. We honor and offer that to your magazine to do an expose on, or maybe, a portion of an episode of a, upcoming magazine with the prisoners, you know.
Right, right. It's something we should definitely talk to my editor about. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we have beautiful real world photography as posters for proof that good people and nonviolent people shouldn't be in for what the heck, you know. And that's us, that's me and Jeff in prison. And I used my dad's camera that he got in 1961, and I bought some film that's still available in my freezer, and I shot Jeff with an old school film camera and a Hasselblad, and that was my joy. I mean, I also did my digital stuff, but it was just a pleasure. I mean, I hung out with Jeff, and the line in my movie. Here, let me share my screen with you all. I just edited my movie, and since we're just playing around here on my show, and we can do whatever I want on my show. So, including here's my birthday. My birthday was this week. Guess how old is everybody? When I'm older, losing my hair many years from now. So I was 60. Everybody, and so let's go back here. Here's my cut on my movie here, and we'll show you a one-liner from... Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here with Lifers Madness, the movie, the updated version, the director's cut, and the one and only movie about prisoners in jail for a plant from the inside. Since 2015, I met Jeff Mizanskey. He's home. He was in jail for 21.9 for 2 grams. Fast forward here. Watch this, everybody. This is my favorite line.
Interesting being on the outside looking in, because we don't know how you feel. We don't know. We do know the injustice, but we're not you, so we don't feel it. But our compassion, especially as hamsters, you know, is a little bit of rage.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Did you pray for it?
I prayed for it, but being in here, I was really not privy to a lot of that.
Because you didn't get news?
We get news on the TV, and I hear things here and there and a little bit out of newspapers, but as far as the effect of what really must be out there from, and I probably still don't know it all, you know, I just am now really catching up on a lot of things,
sure.
like the medical marijuana, how it's helping. I see where it's helping the kids that are having the epileptic.
Charlotte's Web.
Right.
You heard about that story.
Yeah. And, you know, that's great. But how about all these kids that suffered through all these years because of the lies that we were told?
It's Reefer Madness.
There you go. That was one of the first ones.
That was greed for paper.
I mean, look here, you know, from what I read, we got, if I'm not mistaken, I might be quoting it wrong, but isn't it about 4 acres of hemp can save 7 acres of trees?
Right.
Okay.
Because of all the products it is good for.
Exactly.
Paper, fiber, fuel, medicine, and food.
They buried the pharaohs with it.
They have seeds in the pharaohs. I heard
Exactly.
that. Just recently I heard that. Yeah, that was
That's
really
right.
cool.
And that's right. Our first president we had, George Washington, had a hemp field.
The dollar bill.
Declaration is printed on hemp. In fact, is when we were fighting for our independence, what were we fighting for? And the right to have freedom.
Right.
Do we really have it now? I don't think so. We have some freedoms. We're losing a lot of them. But for something that's not hurting people, they're taking away and locking you up.
Right.
What kind of freedom is that? Because, and I'll tell you why they're locking you up, because somebody decided that bought a lot of trees that they wanted to make paper products out of it, and they had the money, big business, to pay the right people to get it made illegal.
This is during the William Randolph Hearst time.
Amen. That's right. So, I've been trying to learn all the facts I can about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've come a long way from where I was. But
Do you know they're making a hemp car now? They can make hemp plastic.
I seen that on the news.
The hemp car is cool.
I about fell out of our bunk when I was walked in. I couldn't believe that. That's great. So why are we paying farmers now to leave their fields unplanted when we could be planting hemp in there, using it and developing a whole big industry instead of importing it from China?
Right.
Here, after we see a little bit of our godfather here, Jack Hare.
In prison for something I did this afternoon!
Spending this time in prison means getting that done. Then all be worth it.
The only serious side effect of marijuana you might get arrested. Did that bring back chills, Jeffrey?
Yeah, it sure did. Sure did. That's before I even knew I was going to get out. That's when we were still fighting. And all the people were still behind it. And one thing I've learned through all that is to get the people, get that information out there so they know what's really going on. They'll come together and do what needs to be done so we can get this job done completely. And it takes people like you to get that done. If it wasn't for the internet, hello dear, and things like that, we wouldn't have this done at all. So
it is amazing now. I mean, just look at Ukraine and the new technology of war. It's not about the drones and killing more people. It's about getting the word out so this never happens again. And we do rewrite the history books, and we do the right thing. Everybody, we have a couple of, we have Natasha back in, our canon nurse, and 1305, can you identify yourself? And 13035.
Yeah, this is Jason Flores Williams, attorney, criminal defense attorney. I represent Jonathan Wall, who's going to trial on May 2nd in federal court, facing life in prison for pot.
So, Jason, we're just finishing up a little bit of conversation. I'm going to bring you onto the front screen here. Welcome, Jason, to our room here and to a day on Weeds Day where we share the cannabis and reform news. We're talking about we want more lawyers to give us the benefit of the doubt and to help us to understand where we're at, where we're going, and what to do. But, Jason, the gentleman next to you, Jeff Mizanskey, I filmed him in 2015, and we got 300,000 signatures, and Governor Nixon got him out. He was in for 3 strikes, 2.5 grams for 21.9. Say hello to Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff?
All right, how you doing?
No, hanging in there, litigating, taking on the government. So I'm glad you're out.
Oh, thank you. It went for the people getting together. I wouldn't be now because it was supposed to be life without the possibility of parole. So
yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. So, it's great that you're helping others
But we can't.
not get in that predicament. You know, it's tough.
Yep.
It's a tough job.
Yep. Need a good jury is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
What about, Jason, what about, can you enlighten the humans out there? We're going global, so we're in Portugal and Mexico and to boot. Can you enlighten everybody about jury nullification?
Sure. I mean, well, the thing is if you're an attorney, here is the trick. right? It's the greatest legal fiction, not jury nullification, but I view it from this point. It's the greatest legal fiction, and it's grossly unjust that juries never hear the potential sentence, right? Because in what place in life do you not consider what your action or your vote, or verdict in this case, is actually going to result in? And so an attorney at trial can never, it's like they say you're entering the purview of the court, which is the judge, by referencing sentencing. So you can't go up in front of a court, in front of a jury and say, and if you guys vote guilty, this guy's facing life in prison. You're not allowed to do that. It would be an instant mistrial and sanctions and all that stuff. So you got to, you try to somehow present the fact that, this could be happening. But so I view it from that. Jury nullification is what the courts have done really since John Peter Zanger. And this was a guy who was a printer in revolutionary America. And the jury there refused to convict him because he was printing things against the British government. And so really what it is saying to the jury that there's a difference between justice and the law. And we're going to ask you to implement justice with your voice here in the form of the verdict versus just blindly and obediently following the law. And, what the shit? It's like you're in the situation where you can try to get there. You can cite to some degree justice, but everybody knows what's coming. And what the court really has become during the last couple hundred years with regard to jury nullification is an extraordinarily sanitized place where they are doing everything they can to scare the hell out of the jury into believing that it has to follow exactly the court's charge. And you get to the end of a trial, and what you're going to have is a judge, an Article III judge or a state judge or any judge, reading to them. And your job, whether you agree with the law or not, right? That's what they say, is to simply follow the evidence, what the evidence tells you in the law. Now, what that neglects to say is that it's not illegal jury nullification. And there have been tons of cases, like in the 60s, going into the 70s, people burning their draft cards and all that stuff during Vietnam. And into recently where people said, no. But the courts, it varies so much with the courts about will the judge, so in like an activist case during Vietnam, will the judge allow Howard Zinn to go up there and talk about, the injustice or the injustice of the Vietnam War or whatever it's going to be? Or in this case, would the judge allow, and the answer is no, someone to go up there and talk about the injustice of the drug war or the racist founding of the DEA?
You mean the cards are stacked against the people on trial for marijuana?
Fuck yeah, they are.
And is it a racist act also?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, if you go, I was just looking up, so this jerk off named Harry Anslinger was actually the founder of the drug war in the United States.
1937.
Yeah, and if you go back and you look at his statements, I mean, they're like Nazi level offensive. And I'm a Latino Chicano lawyer, and really I can tell you that marijuana is a racist term, and that and going back into what he was doing was he was looking at the browns and the blacks and saying that somehow what they really thought was this was brown and black culture seeping into the innocent white virginal populace of the United States. And all he ever talked about was the fact that, hey, when our precious white women smoke the marijuana herb, they're more likely to copulate with the blacks. He said shit like that. So I mean, it's just
that's when Reefer Madness was made too. They produced that movie, and most everybody in that movie was white, or maybe I don't even remember seeing a Latino or black person in that movie. Doesn't matter. It's just a freaking plant, and I'm so blessed to have you on our show and to set the record straight, or to share with us some, as Natasha would say, meducation, some meducation. Thank you, Natasha, for that. I use it a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Natasha, say hi to Jason.
Hello.
Hi, Natasha. Is that a British accent?
Yes.
Yeah. There's one thing I want to add to that is that so marijuana or cannabis has been framed as like unfortunately by the Democrats as this like, okay, it's a racial justice issue, which I have questions about because it's a sure way of making sure that it doesn't get past the Senate. But really what I think happened with it is that Nixon saw a way that he could kill two birds with one stone. And that was not just people of color, but also the counterculture.
Was Nixon the war on drugs?
Yeah. Are you being ironic?
Well, no, I'm just letting the world know when we say, so I'm the steward of this boat, so we can be literate, so we learn and teach as we're driving this car that Nixon started the war on drugs, which I learned at Drug Policy Alliance that it's the war on people.
That's war on people. Or people. It's really what it amounts to is, like I said, two birds, one stone. People of color, incarcerating people of color, and free-thinking Americans who say counterculture, free-thinking, however you want to describe it.
Tommy Chong was in my first movie that I produced, and he said, it's just messed up because the French love their wine and the Latinos and the blacks love their pot, and so he also said he said ha ha, he said the weed's already in the pipe. You can't take it out of our pipe anymore. So let's just finish this thing together. I'm glad to have you part of the Farmy, man. It's really good. We're doing a New Green Farmy. We're doing a golf tournament in Southern California. We're going to have all the prisoners at a concert in Oakland Coliseum. So I want you there. We're rooting for Snoop and for Earth, Wind, and Fire. It doesn't matter who we get. It's just that all the prisoners are going to be there, and we're going to be raising a relief fund with the 501c3 I'm organizing, and give the money back to these gentlemen and women that have been in jail for 30 some odd years for a plant.
Yes.
A relief fund. And so, I mean, Natalia Wade just got compassionate release this week. And so I can share my screen with you all and show you something very interesting. I'm going to share my screen with everybody. And I'm going to go to one of my normal co-host, Amy Pova. She runs the Can Do Clemency. She was in jail for 9 years, not for pot, but for something else, but drugs. And so she runs the Can Do Clemency. I mean, can you imagine being these kids? Your daddy goes in jail, and 30 years later, you get to reunite with your dad. Well, that's what's happening. And at every event that I'm going to produce myself, we are going to be bringing these people on board. Now, let's go here. Let's go see who's free now on her freedom side. So Diana Marquez, she's going to be coming to our events. This woman was chained to a bed in prison for marijuana while she gave birth. Okay, stop, everybody, stop telling me these things. And then here we have all of our prisoners that deserve clemency that are still in jail. So if people think that there's not people helping or doing their job, I'm going to unshare my screen again. You are out of your mind, because we are not going to stop in my lifetime. And I just turned 64 on Saturday, and we had a brass band doing da 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 da. And I gave everybody a bud for my birthday that I grew, and everybody, it's legal. I got my green card in Washington. And so we'll throw it back. Oh, Natasha, why don't you say hello to Jason and Jeff Mizanskey?
Hello. Don't hold it against me that I'm British.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. My phone isn't doing so well, but I'm doing well. My phone decided to die on me, and I'm having to like stand on one foot and twist my arm a certain way, and if I don't move, I'll be all right. I think it'll stick for a moment.
Tell us what floats your boat about meeting Jeff Mizanskey.
Well, of course, the fact that I'm all for freeing the prisoners. I'm all for healing. I call myself a healer, not a dealer, as many others. And I I took care of our Purple Heart veteran who recently died the other day. And I know firsthand by working with him and by working with others that this plant is for healing. It certainly is. And for anybody to be in prison over it's outrageous. I can't believe that this is even happening still. And there's life sentences being given over a plant. So in my lifetime, along with Jeff, along with everyone else, we're going to educate the masses. We're going to free the people, and we're going to free the plant, and we're going to make this hempen.
Do they make a doggy bong? I know I have doggy treats that are CBD.
She loves them.
Yeah, the CBD doggy bong. What's your doggy's name?
This is Binky.
Binky, do you like sativa or?
She's more of an she needs the indica. I would never give her any sativa. That would be the end of that. She's already crazy enough.
Right. Bouncing off the walls, and you're not supposed to give dogs chocolate. So
I have a question that I want to use this if I could.
Sure, come on.
All right, guys. So this is a real question. I've been wondering about what is the best approach with regard to a jury where basically, you're in a weed trial, nullification is going to, the hope for is going to be an issue. The evidence is all against you. What do you think? What have you seen, or what do you think that works? And basically, I've developed two essential strategies. Is one, I want to put the DEA on trial to some degree, but to the degree that the court will let you. But the other way is, but here's the real one. Taking on one belief I have is federal court is so superficially intimidating when you go in there for the average person that I feel like I need to get the jury laughing to some degree. Or do you think, and then introducing everything, or is it a better tack to make an appeal to reason? And I know those things aren't mutually exclusive, but if you were the lawyer in this lawyer taking somebody on a pot charge, what would you do? What would be your general tone and main thematic forms of arguments? Yeah, I mean, you guys have been there. You've been through the trial. What do you wish would have happened that didn't happen?
I'll answer that. I think that that I wish that the judges would finally figure out that these are people and they have families, and you put somebody in jail, you put their family in jail. And I think that by Eddie Lepp, who just passed away, he was in jail for 35 tons. Jeff was in for 2 grams. We should have them both virtually in one of those new virtual 3D, little booths, talking to each other, and just realize that it's all a shame. It should have never happened, and that alcohol is legal and pot is not, and nobody got angry on pot. I say that marijuana or cannabis is the gateway drug to the munchies.
Munchies.
Munchies, couch lock, or being with your woman, just getting all, putting some Marvin Gaye on, so I'm just really, really, really dedicated to what you're saying. And my answer to your question is I want to start with the judges, getting them to realize what's going on. So they already come in compassionate and knowing that the story that Jeff's telling. Jeff, how long were you in jail?
2 months short of 22 years.
God damn.
Gosh, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Jason, we already showed a clip from my movie this afternoon with Jeff and me in prison, and I got to get inside prison. I'm one of the only people in our group that have ever been in prison to film somebody, and Jeff and I got to do that. And when I came back to the screen, Jeff was pulling the tissue. He was crying because it was one of the first times since then that he's seen himself back in there. And we know Jason Hernandez said, a Hispanic dude, for being free. He said, the only thing that I know that I'm free, and thank you, President Obama, or whoever let him out. And he said also in one of my films, he said, I just know my buddies are still in there, and they may never get out.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, you asked, you said, imagine what it would be like, if you're a kid. Well, the reason I became an attorney is because my father was sentenced to 35 years in prison as part of the drug when I was 11 years old. First time I ever stepped foot into a federal court was to testify on his behalf on an appellate bond. So, I mean, it's like this has just gone on to the point, beyond exhaustion. But, obviously we have to keep fighting and everything. And you know what? At the end of the day, I was watching Ben Franklin last night, Ken Burns' Ben Franklin.
Right.
The guy had a lot of problems like all of us. But the one thing he was amazing at was always reviewing his positions and admitting when he was wrong. And all I can figure out is that the feds, this government in the United States, has some disease that does not ever allow them to admit that they've been wrong.
Well, that's restitution and clemency for acts of stupidity. Alcohol went through prohibition for what, 2 years?
Yeah, and the people drank nothing during prohibition.
Well, the
I think people drank more during prohibition, didn't they?
Right. You've seen plenty of movies of all the speakeasies and knocking on the door and shit like that, and so Hollywood took advantage of that. Why don't we just realize that it's God's plan? And especially the hemp. I'm wearing a hemp vest that I made in Vietnam and my hemp hat here. I mean, everybody, look at that fabric, how beautiful it is. And there's no pesticides on that. And cotton is the dirtiest industry in America and the world. And, and here's hempcrete. It has an R value of 9. That means that it won't burn and that it's keeping in the cold and the heat. I mean, what don't they get that they just tax us properly? Let us put money in jail. I mean, we already know that Natalia on my screen here, Natalia down here in this little tiny picture here, Natalia was in jail for conspiracy. She did nothing, but she was in jail for like 10 years for conspiracy. She's home now. And what the F are we, it's not the war on drugs, it's the war on people.
Fuck yeah, it is. You got that right. That's brilliant.
And so, Jason, I want you to back off with me or get in touch with me so we can have you at every one of our shows and to do the dirty work together, because I'm going to get a 1 million person march, and we're going to do it in my lifetime. I say, if gay marriage, the counterculture gay marriage, went to the legislation and they got free, and you can say it on nightly news. Now we can say marijuana on nightly news, but the CARES Act ain't going to do crap, right?
No, fuck no. It's I actually have a point about that. That's Schumer's MO. Okay, first off, everybody thought Biden lied, and so did Kamala. If you look back, Biden was a bigger drug warrior than Nixon. That guy was the big, hard-ass driving force behind the drug war going into the 80s. But what was I saying before that?
That they lied.
That they lied. Okay, so those guys lied. Anyway, I was talking about Schumer. So Schumer has done this with several things that should be very easy to pass. One of them was the carried interest tax, which has to do with what hedge funders have to pay as far as taxes.
Right.
And so what he does is he has something that has a chance of passing. That if you just said, okay, if you just said cannabis should not be treated the same as heroin, just deschedule it a little bit. I think that would pass. But what Schumer does is he adds all of this stuff to it, so he appears to be the guy who's in favor of evolution, in favor of all this, when in actuality, what he's strategically doing is making sure that that never has any opportunity to get through. So these Democrats who position themselves as pro legalization, pro rationality, pro sanity, or just pro not being complete frickin' morons. I think you got to watch out for them a little bit.
Well, morons they were, they are, they will be. And if Jesus was here, he'd help us understand. And I'm a Jew, but he was all about forgiveness. And
he was a Jew.
So yeah. and so all I know is nothing except for that in my lifetime I'm going to do the best I can to go louder. Now that we're close to Snoop, we're close to all these musicians. We've got Tommy Chong on tomorrow. I mean next week. Come on back on the 13th, Jason, and say hey to Tommy.
I will. Yeah, I actually got to run to federal court, so I appreciate the time, and I want to say sorry for talking too much, everybody.
No, you did great. Can you give us a 3, everybody, so I can do a screenshot for our thank you? That's a weed sign. Yeah, there you go. Everybody, 3, 1, 2, 3. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Jason, and everybody. We've got 6 more minutes on the show. You going to split, Jason?
I got to take off, man. So thank you, everybody, for the work you've done.
Find me in the backspace. We'll connect on another day for sure.
You bet, man. All right. Bye, everybody.
Good to see you. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jason. So wow, that's how we roll, everybody. Let's go around the horn here. Natasha, any final words today?
Yes, my final words are, first of all, welcome home, Jeff. Welcome home, prisoners. And don't you worry, we're coming for the rest of you. We're going to make this happen. We're going to do it. We can, we will, and we must. And I want to say, in honor of Chris Chambers, our Purple Heart from Vietnam, you have done a job well done. And he created Vet Meds Matter. And he spent his life trying to change the system and trying to make the VA understand that the veterans deserve more, they need more, and we can do it. And we will. Ham ham hooray.
Hey, bless you. Well, let's give you a DJ horn. Okay, Nancy, give us your final words here on the way out.
Well, it's such an honor to meet you, Jeff. Thanks so much for being here and being out. I hope that your life is beautiful now, and I continue to support the cause, because we absolutely need to have no one behind bars for cannabis. You mentioned the what happened in 1937, and if you look back, and I'm sure Natasha understands this, hemp and our cannabinoid systems were all engaged back then, because it was in everything we ate. It was in the food that the livestock, it was in the milk. We had it in our systems. And guess what? When it was outlawed and made illegal, cancer rates and everything started going up since then. In the 50s, it really, people really started seeing their health affected in many ways. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we took hemp out of the picture there. And so, yeah, hemp hooray, we got to get it back in there, make sure that everybody understands we need this for our health, for our lives, and we should not be putting people in prison for it, and we got to get them out.
Bless you, Nancy, and Sensi Magazine representing. Will you get a glockenspiel? Okay, Nancy's got the glockenspiel. Jeffrey, final words of the day. We'll have you back. You know that, and we'll have you at every event we do. As long as I'm on board, Jeffrey is my favorite spokesperson. Yes. I've got also to introduce to you one day soon is me in jail with Michael Thompson. So I'm kind of like the only guy that's been in the freaking jails with these guys, and I haven't done a lot, but my word is getting out through film. So, Jeff, final words.
Well, first I got to thank everybody for being here and sharing. But one thing we all got to remember is we put these people in power. We vote them in, and if they don't do what we want them to do, we need to vote them out. We'll get change. If that's what we got to do, that's how we got to do it. So it's power to the people is what it is. We got to get together, get some good information out there so people can make a choice, collect the right people in there, and when they get in, make them follow through with their promises of legalization like it should be. So we can get all of our brothers and sisters out. That's when it'll be a happy day. That's when it'll really be hemp hooray. Thank you all.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, that's Jeff Mizanskey. What does Jeff get? Jeff is going to get a. Okay, Jeff's going to get a traditional applause here for going in, coming out. Jeff actually taught woodshop when he was in prison. That was Jeff's incredible gift
I love that.
to the prisoners, right, Jeff?
That's right. Yeah. A lot of them guys in there where I was that never had jobs before. They never had an opportunity to learn anything, let alone learn how to work and then learn what to do when they're at work. And there's, believe it or not, it's two separate things because we're not used to getting up going. You don't do it. So, it's the last thing out of your mind. But we'll get them out. We'll get them straightened up. We'll get them some help, what they need. Get their records expunged so they can get good jobs, so they can thrive in this economy. And, of course, we get all these bills passed and get cannabis legalized all the way across the board. Everybody can have a chance at growing and making a few dollars or surviving, and the health benefits are humongous. I use it for arthritis, and so many other people use it for other things, from cancer on down to colds, and it really works. And
well, you know me, Jeff. I'm not allowed to give testimonials as a filmmaker and a producer. So everybody that comes on my show definitely can say, give a testimonial and say, my shoulder didn't move last week until I got, green salve, and I put it on every day, and now look, I've got full motion.
I do them on.
Thank you, Jeff, for being here, for being out. And again, everybody around the planet, because Jeff is talking to you, and he was in jail for 21, 9, or 10, and for 2 grams. And Eddie Lepp, who's no longer with us, God rest his soul, was in for 35 tons. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is that beautiful picture of the plant behind me, and with the Sensi magazine there and the big bud there, is that it should be taxed, it should be waxed, it should be faxed, it should be a fact of the matter that it's a beautiful plant. And as Tommy Chong said in my movie, it's probably God's most incredible plant on the planet. It heals the soil. We've got incredible bad soil, even in our organic gardens, and it's our job to teach you and not to preach to you, but to share incredible souls like Jeff Mizanskey here, and Natasha and Nancy and Jason today. So that's all we got today, everybody. Did I get to everybody, or do I have final words? Those were my final words. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Nancy. And thank you, Natasha. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Jeff.
And if any of you want to come see Tommy next week, including you, audience, I'm the Pee Wee Hermit of pot, everybody. We're going to make you laugh all the way to ending prohibition.
I look forward to that next week.
So like I said, yeah, Tommy Chong will be on next week. Like I said, and maybe Cheech, maybe. But the bottom line is, there's Tommy in the Singer. What was that, the name of that show?
The Masked Singer.
Oh yeah, Tommy was in the. Was Tommy also in Dancing with the Stars, or was that Cheech?
Oh, I think it was Cheech. We'll have to look into that.
Cheech is here.
Let's look into that for sure.
Cheech is in town in Santa Rosa next week.
The what?
Cheech is in town this Saturday in Santa Rosa at the Mercy Wellness.
Oh, great! Is Mercy Wellness a cannabis show?
Yes, it's a cannabis dispensary. They have 2 of them. He'll be both.
Is he an owner?
No, he's just his brand is sold there, so he's
great. Okay,
coming in for the pre-420 fun.
Great. Well, look out for all the things that we're doing from Weeds Day, everybody. On the 4th Weeds Day, we do World 420 Day. We do a 42-second meditation, and I'm gonna say. I'm going to bid you a farewell with our outro. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really, really a blast. And here we go. You can stick around if you want, everybody.
Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here, and I'm behind the, what do they call that? The curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. So we're congratulating Natalia Wade for early termination. And here I am, everybody, in my living room, living and being out of jail and being really incredibly happy.
Yeah, it was.
Had a birthday this week, and Hemp Hooray, please support our relief fund. And we are going to be having auctions, and we're working on a golf tournament, we're working on a concert to bring people together through music and to help to raise the awareness and the vibration of the free, which is for 420. So 3 is for weed, 2 is for peace, and F Schedule 1. So listen to Jeffy, and all I gotta say is I'm wearing my hemp hat here. It's really gorgeous, and it's all hemp, you guys and gals, and it's got the flower of life on there. So look out for us every week, and next week we're having Sir Tommy Chong. And so, as you know, I've got the really psychedelic, incredible software that allows me to show you what we're doing and how we're doing it. And that's it. Our Cannabis Show Weekly is coming at you very shortly, this Wednesday. So step on in. And if you want to be a guest, you know how to reach me. I'll give you the link, and you can come on and Zoom with us and tell us your story, okay? Nobody should be in jail for weed. Love you, everybody. Peace. Thank you.
So, everybody, that's really incredible that we had a beautiful day today. Natasha, beautiful to have you today. And my condolences to your Purple Heart human that did so much good work. Let's be the voice of him still and share that with the world.
Thank you, Chad.